Welcome to the new moon meditation that we have today on January 2nd, 2022. Lots of twos, which is a really good number. Jonah can share a little bit about that in a few minutes. And so I just want to say welcome. My name's Christine Cardoza of the Healing Soul School, and also helping with We're Just Space, a beautiful healing platform. So for everyone who's wanting to create a profile, especially if you are a light worker, a mystic, or you're in that business, create a profile on the site. I see that Kate is here. So Kate, if you could pop that into the chat, the link for it, Orja.space. Orja means energy. So if you're an energy worker, that's a really great space where you can create a profile, a community. If you have things to sell, whether it's sessions or products, then you're able to market on that channel. So I guess today is brought to you by Orja.space. And I am an intuitive business coach and energy healer. I really love to work with the shadow parts because I see the magic. I see the magic in what someone's wanting to do and create. And Source shows me, with the shadow parts, how people can put all of that together into their business or into the life that they want to create and heal those heavies. We're not meant to struggle. And so any of the old stories or the old identities, how we can unhook from that. And very cool. My guide just showed up. So that's really neat. So my background is business and travel. And I was raised in very strict religions. So I have a very high level of discernment, which I feel is very helpful in what I'm doing right now, because I take everything, it's got to go through the gut. What's my intuition saying? It's not just taking something from the spiritual or spirituality world just as it is. It's like, that's something that I can really hook into. That's not part of a fad or any kind of cult-like behavior, so to speak. And so that's just kind of a little bit about my background and how I look at things. I really want to help people heal from any fear or trauma or the heavy things that happen most likely in childhood, so that you can feel lighter and shine brighter, and then more people can be helped. It's really the healing of that generational traumas that are held in the sexual organs, the first three chakras as well. So I think once we can heal and lift, a lot of that, your intuition comes in stronger, you just feel much better, you're connecting to your body. Lots of good things, the juicy things can happen with that. And so it's a combination really of connecting to yourself, breath work, meditation, and then figuring out what are the pieces, what am I here for? And a little bit of a formula in how my brain works. And Jonam, if you'd like to go ahead and share a little bit about who you are, what you're doing, and then also part on the how to set intentions.
Sure, thank you. So my name's Jonam. I'm based in the UK, and similar to Christine, I grew up in very authoritarian religion, and having extricated from that and recovered from that myself, my journey has become also helping other people to recover as well. Primarily, I'm working with ex-Jehovah's Witnesses because that's my own background. But something that was fascinating was that there are so many patterns that are common across different tyrannical structures, whether it's narcissistic relationships, certain political groups, certain corporate entities, the corporate world in general, and of course religions and cults. They share so many things in common, and the challenges they create for people are very similar, as are the solutions. So that became really intriguing to me, and that's the capacity where Christine and I met, was really pursuing this question of how can we effectively, powerfully help people to recover from authoritarian, tyrannical groups and people, and step back into that creatorship and give yourself permission to be the authority in your own life. No one teaches us this. We don't get taught that in school. We definitely don't get taught that in religions and in most families, because it's not in the interests of the authority structures. People need to be compliant to keep everything ticking along nicely. So, of course, we're not going to learn it there, but we can learn it elsewhere. That's what I've been learning all this time from the fields of NLP to hypnotherapy to behavioral profiling, and then more recently delving into the spiritual world. I kind of resent the term because it sort of presupposes some kind of separation. You know, back in the day, spirituality and science, they were the same thing until about 500 years ago, when this basically a philosopher, Rene Descartes, I think his name was, wanted to start, you know, what do you call it? Dissecting the human body, and the church had an issue with it. They're like, no, that's sacred. And he said, well, the physical world belongs to science, and that belongs to us, and the church can have the mind and spirit and spirit. So that's when this split between spirituality and scientific, that's when that started to happen, when it's really artificial. And for thousands of years before that, and now what we're seeing with the advent of modern science and research from, you know, all the way back to the early 20th century, showing that these spiritual principles that were taught for thousands of years, they're actually provable scientific principles as well. So we're coming full circle, and the approach I bring to the table is largely rooted in the scientific approach of neuroscience, of hypnotherapy, of NLP, and all of these clinical modalities. But also when you weave that into just the pure experience of yourself as a human being and what that actually means, then you de-sterilize it and you bring yourself back to life. So we're talking about intention today, and setting intentions, and we were talking beforehand and thought it would be helpful to put a few guidelines in place first. Obviously you can intend whatever you like, but there are ways of intending it that are useful, and there are some that are not. And we wouldn't necessarily know this intuitively. So something that's worth being aware of is the fact that our subconscious mind, which is the thing we're working with, right? That's like the thing that we speak to, and that speaks to the rest of consciousness. It doesn't process negatives ever so well. If we tell it, you know, the old cliche is, don't think of a white elephant. Well, what pops into your head? Most people will see some mental image of a white elephant, because in order to not think of it, you had to represent it to know what to delete. So it doesn't work too well with negatives. Another way to think of this is that if you hop into a cab, you don't tell the driver where not to take you. You don't say, well, don't take me to freaking LA. That sucks there. Well, jolly good. Where do you want to go? Anywhere but LA. You could end up somewhere far worse. So we need to be specific in how we create those instructions so that our mind knows where to take us. There's a concept in Hermeticism of form and force. So the form part is where you give your intentions form, a clear, specific statement of intent. Later on, Christine's going to share the idea of well, I won't share what you're going to share, but it's going to be good that will speak to the form. But by having clarity, and also by stating it in the positive, you're creating, imagine it like the channel that water can flow through. So by giving it good form, it's like digging a canal, so that then you can introduce force. That the force that makes it happen is very often the thing that people miss out on. So some people, they read or they watch The Secret and they think, well, if I just sit here and imagine winning the lottery or having a sports car or whatever, that's going to make it happen. It's not. That's just they've just dug the channel, but they're not sending anything through it. What has been proven to be highly powerful in creating changes in consciousness is when you actually go into the state where it feels real. When you add emotional intensity to the mental image, you're actually breathing life into it. That's when it can become like a lucid dream almost, where you are imprinting your consciousness and saying, this is my norm now. This is what's important to me. This is what I'm calling in, and this is what we are orienting towards. We have it's between 60 and 100,000 thoughts a day. They measured it sometime in the 80s or 90s, 60 to 100,000 thoughts a day. How many do you remember? Hardly any. The ones you do remember are probably the ones that have a high emotional quotient attached to them. When there's an emotional spike, positive or negative, that's what makes it actually get in there. So what we're going to be working with is creating that form and then introducing that force, or power might be a better word, but it doesn't begin with F, so we don't use it. By doing that, what you're doing is you're actually hacking into your own power as a human being, like we said before, not just using your mind, but using the entirety of your emotional body and your physical body as well. Something else we're bringing here, by doing this as a group, even though we're not in person, we're still sharing this space and this time together. Even if you're watching on the replay, you're connecting with this point. And there have been extensive studies in the power of group intention. So when we come together like this, what you're doing is you're creating amplitude. Just like in a piano store, for instance, if you go up to a piano and you hit the middle C key, that will cause all of the other middle C strings to resonate in that shop. So all of the others entrain to it. They call it social coherence. So when you have a group of people like we are today, gathering together with the specific intention of creating the lives that we want to live, we're amplifying each other's intensity. We're lending power to each other with all of the love and the positive intentions that we share between ourselves. So those are all the things that we're working with. Well, all the things that I can think to mention right now. I'm sure there's more, but all of that comes together to make this a very powerful, tangible, visceral process that you can enjoy. Christine, is there anything that I've forgotten, or would you like to
Yeah,
take the
that was
reins?
really awesome. I love your brain and how it connects to like the how-tos, the science, or the logical part, not even science, just the logical part. So thank you for sharing that. I want to just add on with the C note that you were talking about, how, you know, when we're visualizing or we're imagining what it is that we want for the year. My guide is here, so strong, guys. This is really awesome. She's been here, there. She's like right here. Is when you're visualizing, this is your year. Like, what is it that you really want to have come in? And this is the intention setting for today. Imagine it, but not even just imagining, or that would be nice. Is like when we are doing the meditation part later, it's really just like sink into one idea or one thing really coming through this year, that it's like fast forward to the end of 2022 and this one thing happened, and how excited and happy you are. Because there have been a number of tests done, whether, I mean, I had heard the guitar string. If you stroke the guitar string in one, let's say in D, and there's another guitar beside it, the other guitar will vibrate the D as well. Okay, so that's just frequency. Now, as far as visualization, studies have been done where there were two groups. One played the piano, so they played a song, and then the other group, the placebo group, they were to just sit and visualize themselves playing that same song or playing the piano. And then they studied their brains, and both the brains were lit up in the exact same, whether they were physically playing or they were just thinking about playing. This is really important for us to know, because when you have a vision or you have an intention or there's something that you want to bring in, which, what a beautiful time at the beginning of a year, imagine that it's happening and that you're in the process of it and how good it feels, because vibration likes feeling, right? So that for me, I've started to change the word of what's your song to the universe. Because what we have right now, everything we have, if there's any struggles or there's things that are going on, that has been our vibration out to the universe, and it has mirrored back to us what we truly believe we deserve, or about our lives. The law of assumption, it's a really good one to look up if you've never heard about that. It's like the core belief of who you are inside. And so this is such a great day to be able to figure out, new year, what do you want to have come in this year? What are the things that you want to intend or to bring in? And then during your meditation, or even on another day, hop on some 432 megahertz music, or in the morning. I think morning's really good for routine, to just then sit in the stillness of whatever it is that you want is already here, and how good that feels, because that's your vibration. That's your song that you're giving out to the universe. And to allow that to vibrate back to you, then what happens is all of the things that you really want to have in your life, they start to appear and form in the material world in front of you, because you are in that frequency and you are in that vibration. So an easy example is with money. So if there are any money struggles, or maybe you're wanting an extra, let's say, $1,000 in your bank account, it is, being in the vibration of you deserve that it can come from anywhere, that it doesn't have to be from necessarily you working, although that's what we're used to, but that the universe, really does have your back and can support you in all of the things. Money is usually often the most common one to talk about. And just to be in that vibration of all of the things that you want, because they're there. They're just waiting for you to say, okay, I'm ready for that realization, or to experience that in my life right now. Okay, yes, thank you, Lori. The 432 megahertz music is the sound of nature. So it is the most calming music. You've got something going on in the house or tension, pop on 432 megahertz. It's going to automatically calm everybody down. But even in your own heart coherence, you can do that as well, which is really neat. Good. Abundance checks, yep, you can write them out. Definitely. If you don't, you can draw it if you like. I had done that last year and the year before, all around the law of attraction, and it's okay to write an abundance check, Brandy, and I'm glad that you've been bringing it up. The only thing is with it, the little caveat for me is if you don't believe it. So let's say I write, $3,000. I'm going to make, for my business, I'm going to make $3,000 every single month. But there's something lacking within me that I don't believe that I deserve that, or that people are going to buy what I want, or money can come to me from any of the sources. If I don't really believe that deep down, then I feel that check then becomes a crutch, or not even a crutch, it's not the right word, but it could be a hang up, because if you're seeing it month after month and it's not happening, then we can beat ourselves up on the inside subconsciously often. So make sure that the check is there. I don't want to limit anyone, just be very cognizant, or very aware around what it is that you're writing down, and make sure that it feels good energetically. If it were to drop in your hand, the check, right? Imagine instead of it being the piece of paper and the check, that it's the actual cash. Is it really heavy? Does your nervous system say yes? Or are you cringing or constricting in any way? Then it's okay, leave the check, but do some more inner work on you feeling like that money can come and that it is there for you. That's all I'll say around those, just to feel that you're in there. I had pulled a card for today, and she's saying, okay, so I just want to expand on it. You're saying all I need. Okay, super. So all I need and more, right? So that we're always end to end more, this plus more, something where there's that you're not limiting yourself, because what it could be is that maybe this year only your bills are paid, but not the things that you really want. Maybe you want to take the family on a vacation, maybe. So the words, there is a little bit of a nuance to the words. All I'm saying is, like, write on the check what feels good to you, what feels expansive, and that there is room for more and more, this and more, along with that. Okay. That's a whole other deeper conversation. So today I pulled orange sapphire, and orange is the color of the sacral. There's someone on the call who loves orange, so I love that this is the card. I brought a candle today, which happens to be orange, funny, and my cup is orange. So I'm like, we're all surrounded by sacral. And the chakra, or sorry, this card for today is all around joy, which I think is really special, because there's someone else on the call who is going to choose that for her word this year. It's just amazing how everything gets pulled together. Yeah, money does love a job, so give it places where it's to go. Absolutely. Yeah, so joy and sensuality, respecting the body and body love. And the sacral, right? Connecting to the pleasure, to your pleasure center, and to what it is that you want to create this year. What will make you feel alive? What will feel so good? It doesn't have to be a business. It could be art. It could be taking your relationship deeper. Whatever the thing is that you want to create this year, this is a really good time to set that intention for what it is that you're bringing in, but it's something that's going to bring you joy from inside, right? We're taught to look outside for that love and joy and all of those things. Let's turn in. So many of us have been doing a lot of our work in the spirituality and really going in and, connecting to the chakras and such. And so a lot of people are good from maybe the heart or so, but like being able to expand out to source, to spirit, to really feel that coming in. So I would invite you, as you're writing your intentions as well, to look down into your heart, into your solar plexus, your identity, because you could write down the things that you want to create this year, but do you really believe at the core that that's who you are and that's what you're here to create this year? So I encourage you to incorporate that as well. Look into the sacral, what it is that you're here to birth or to create or just be. Maybe you're just here to be happy on this planet, and that will be great because your happy energy extends to other people. It's not something that you have to do per se. And then the base chakra, a feeling of security and feeling held and supported by the universe, by Mother Nature, by Father Sky. And if you have any wobble there, a mother wound, a God wound, a father wound, authority wound, any of those, take care of them and heal those and release them. We'll do some of that today during the meditation. I always love to focus on the lower 3 chakras to just really clear out moving any generational trauma or things that are an energy that's not even yours. It came from your grandparents. Often epigenetically, it skips our parents. And so maybe what was happening in your grandparents' childhood that is now effective of who you are. And so you could be still carrying that energy, and to just release and clear, leave it and let Mother Earth transmute that, so that this year you are clear. You're clear to be exactly who you want to be, what feels good, what's bringing you joy, what's lighting you up from within, and to do that. So that's all I'll share on the card. If you have a candle and want to light it, if you don't have one, it's okay. Just kind of sets in a way a little bit like a ceremonial type meditation. So it's totally up to you. We don't have the time now on this call, but like some things you can do over the next few days, if this resonates with you, is write a letter to the year, or write a letter as if it's December 2022 and you're looking back and wow, all of these things happened. That could be a way to set up your year, so that you're just putting it out there, right? What we build in our mind is what's going to get created. So this is really powerful to just, be in that energy. The Capricorn, so of the new moon, is like, what things are you wanting to create around structure or having, it's all about following authority and control, and in a good way, right? Like, what are the areas in your life maybe that are really lax, or that you're looking for some more structure in, you want to follow through, you're looking for some more integrity, and to really call that in as you're thinking about your year and the intentions you want to set. I had mentioned earlier in the call, but there's traditional astrology and such, and I've been following a woman who is an astrologer, and astronomy is her thing, and she says that most of the world is not on the same schedule. She follows, I think it's Kemetic astrology, if I have that correctly. So I'm learning. I don't want to share too much into that, but she says today actually is the new moon in Sagittarius, even though everything else says Capricorn. So the new moon in Sagittarius, it actually goes really well with Capricorn, because Sagittarians, to me, always I think of fun. They are fun. They are, they're jokesters. They like to, be around other people sometimes. You could be an introverted Sagittarius as well. It depends on your other houses and planets and such. But just in general, Sagittarius to me is fun. It's light, right? Joking around. And so just something I pulled up was, when you're thinking even about your intentions, come at it from a place of passion and curiosity, intensity, but also flexibility and adaptability. What is it in this year that you want to create that you can even pull in some of those words, right? Is there an area where you'd like to be more flexible with yourself? Maybe not as hard, dropping any of the judgment or fear or shame that's in those lower 3 chakras. Could be some of that part. And really just like, if you were on an adventure and you were, Sagittarius is the half man, half horse, right? The archer, I believe, is the I don't even know what you call it, but the archer, like even just thinking if you're shooting off arrows into 2022, What is light? What is fun? What is like an adventure? Something that brings you joy, as a way to set your intentions and to create. I'm just going to pop into the chat. Here are some words, some phrases, some mantras that you can have for this year, and maybe just pick one for now, but you can screenshot it, so that you have it. And these are things that you can write into. I just take a screenshot so that you have them. But like, those are things that you can come back to after to write into your calendar. So I have my calendar for the year, and at the top of it, wherever it feels good, you can, if you like writing on the photo, you can write all this, like some of the things that you want to call in, and just go through each month. I wrote in here, this one, I am loved, as the, beside it. You can write on the calendar days if you want. It's kind of like an Advent treasure hunt for yourself, right? You're setting it today or later tonight or tomorrow, and writing those things all the way through your calendar. So then now when you flip in September, it's going to be a mantra that comes up that's probably going to be exactly what you need at that time. Like, Spirit is really amazing for those things. So in a way, it's like creating your own Advent calendar for the year, using some of the phrases that I had popped into the chat. And yeah, I definitely want to make a calendar for sure for next year. But like, here are some words, I am safe, I am balanced, I am joyful, calm, and deeply rested. Imagine saying that every day, right when you wake up. That's a good one for your bathroom mirror. I am joyful, calm, and deeply rested. You're telling yourself the things that you want to bring in. It's going to happen. I have empathy and compassion for anyone stuck in fear. That takes us out of any judgment for what's going on in the world, right? Everyone's on their own journey, and they're meant to learn in their own way. We take our hands off everyone else. You just stay in your lane and you look after you. I am safe to be seen. I am surrendering to an important truth that there is always enough for me. I trust my instincts and take care of myself. Like, those are the kinds of phrases that you can put on the calendar. And then in March and April and May, when you open that up, you'll have that one phrase that you can kind of hone in for that month, and really just setting this year as a time to secure into who you are from that base chakra of, you are meant to be here. You are safe. You are supported. The sacral, right? The creativity, the sensuality, the being able to touch your body and not cringe, like all of those things that you can come home to yourself, come home to your heart. The solar plexus, right? Even in the colors, this is the yellow one of your personal identity and who you are. If you do have a business, you have a your desire to even have the business is amazing in and of itself. So that personal identity in that yellow is really just calling in, like, I am safe to be seen. I am to be doing the healings or the readings, whatever it is that you might want to do, or nurturing other people, so that you can really feel that it's, the imposter syndrome doesn't have any play here, because you're a soul being having that human experience. And so if you have that desire for a business or to help people in some way, or you have a desire to earn that income, whatever that is in that desire, and that's in your heart, there's a place for it, and it's totally yours and can be there and created once you sink into your identity and really who you are, really that you're the greatest and most powerful creator of anything that you want to bring in. It's really coming into the belief of it, and sharing from that. So just to touch back on the generational healing, and you can do this for today when Jonam's going through the meditation. We're going to set an intention for everyone who's here that we are clearing our own generational trauma for ourselves, for all relations, right? We'll do that as the collective for the word as well, the world. We are very powerful, right? And so even just clearing any fear, any generational trauma for the collective, for the world, for those who maybe don't have access to a meditation like this or a group, that they would find one in their own place, to be able to come together and feel held and supported. That those lower three chakras are really the main ones to focus on this year. If you haven't really been doing that work and really just heal and clear what's in there, you can do it in one meditation. I'm just going to clear it all and just let it go, that it's done. Some things might come up. There might be other parts of the onion layers, or the onion rings, as I say, to heal as you go through. But let's live in this place of adventure and joy and curiosity. What is around the corner? Instead of the heaviness that we're used to, we're going to come from this place of curiosity, just like a young child, right? Oh, I wonder what's going to happen this month or this year. What exciting thing is going to happen today when you wake up? And just be reminded of whatever your song is out to the universe. So in the morning when you wake up and you realize you're awake, it's like, okay, it's another day. What is your song? What's the song that you're giving out to the universe? And that's your electromagnetic signature, the Taurus field, right? The energy that's flowing from our hearts out and comes back down and up through our feet. And so is that a feeling of I'm not worthy, or life sucks, or oh my gosh, I got this really big thing coming and I don't know how I'm going to make it through. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. Or can you be in a place of trusting and curiosity and be inquisitive, like, oh, this thing is coming up. I don't know what's going to be the result, but I know I'm going to learn something, and I'm open to trusting myself. I'm open to trusting the universe, and let that be the song that comes out from you in the day or in the morning, or, I am loved, or whatever the phrases are, the things that feel really good to you, so that we are in this place of excitement and fun and joy and moving through the world that way. There's going to be two kinds of people as I wrap up: those who are in love and joy and curiosity, the higher emotions, and then those who are stuck in the lower ones, the fear, the guilt, the shame. There are parts of that. We all have to go through them. That's the law of polarity, the yin and the yang. But for majority of your day and your time, can you pop up into the lighter, feelings of love and joy, contentment can even be one, and gratitude, to be in that energy versus the, oh shit, what's going to happen next kind of energy, and just feel light, feel held, feel so supported. We are here, as a community to help you in whatever path you're in. Just coming back to urja.space. Thank you, Kate, for putting that link into the chat. It is a group for all of us, for the healing arts community. And so just pop in there. If you have, you want to create something, or you want to contribute, maybe you find quotes that you really like, or something that can help support another, and you can post content on that. Basically, the space is like Facebook and Etsy together, if you were to imagine they were to get married. And it's, owned by someone who's local here in our hometown. It's not owned by a company per se, where it's not censored. You can just be yourself, and we're coming together to help people heal. And so we're calling in anyone who is an energy healer, does readings or sessions somewhere, somehow they're helping others, because we're going to grow this community, and it's just a really comfy place to be, safe place to be. Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Jonah. Jonah was going to do our meditation for us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay, just to be...
Yes.
Get the text off. Awesome. Okay. I will turn my video off, just because your eyes are going to be closed anyway. So
yeah, I recommend that. If everyone, you want to turn off your cameras, then you can just sink in and get really comfy.
Awesome. Wonderful. So go ahead, and I'm just going to mute someone. Excuse me. Okay, everyone's muted now. Wonderful. So go ahead, get yourself situated, get comfortable. If you haven't already done so, close your eyes and take in a big, deep breath, the deepest breath that you've taken so far today. And let it go with a sigh. Let it all out, and invite and allow yourself to relax. As you continue breathing in this deep and nourishing way, giving yourself the full permission to allow any of the thoughts and distractions from the outside world and from the day up to this point to just drift away. You can attend to the outside world and the responsibilities of life later. Now is your chance to have full permission to not think about anything. other than what you're experiencing right now. As with each breath and with every word, you can drop into this space within yourself, beyond the confines of time and space, and beyond any labels and identities. As you sink into the core of your being, more and more throughout this entire process, becoming in tune with yourself, creating coherence, and begin by relaxing your body. Just scan briefly throughout your body and allow it to go limp and loose and relaxed. Allow any tension to just drain out. Allow any tension in your eyelids to just be completely relaxed, as you relax them so much as an act of will, choosing to relax your eyelids so fully that even if you were to try to open them, they'd just be so relaxed and so heavy, like they're falling asleep. They will just feel too good to be able to drift deeper instead. As you close your inner eyes and stop thinking in words more and more, as any of the external thoughts and sounds and distractions can float away. Any sounds on the outside can't disturb or distract you. Your mind is able to just delete them. Just like when you're in a crowded space, maybe a party or a busy place in public, but someone's speaking to you, conversation with a dear friend perhaps, and you are able to delete and ignore everything which does not matter. You can tune it out while you tune in to what really matters. Because we all have this voice of wisdom inside of us. And the more you listen and tune into this voice, the more it's able to guide you into the riches of your being, of everything you're able to create, to enjoy, all of the love, all of the abundance, all of the pleasure that is your birthright. And so inviting and welcoming yourself now deeply into this space where you can find your center within yourself. And allow the conscious mind, the rational mind, the analytical mind to realize that it has no responsibilities here. You're speaking to the core of yourself, your deep inner mind, the part that keeps you alive even while you're deeply asleep, the part that gives you dreams and visions. And so in complete comfort now, begin by becoming aware of this space, the space that we're creating here in this session. As you become aware of everyone else who's listening and engaging in this process, you may imagine this as if we're all gathered together in a room, maybe standing or sitting in a circle. You may imagine it as if we were each a star in space, forming a beautiful constellation. And as you become aware of just how supported you are in this moment of creation, of co-creation, as you've taken this time, this window in time and space, to send forth a ripple, to sing your song to the universe and hear it reflecting and echoing back, as we're all joining together in this space with the intention of holding the space together, of raising the frequency with the joint intention of clearing generational trauma, of letting go of patterns, of healing wounds from the past, allowing those things to be relinquished, having learned all necessary lessons. And once the lessons are learned, as they already have been, well, the reason for the message to be there still goes away. Once you've heard the message, you can delete it. You know it now. Not only that, but we're gathering together with the intention of creating, co-creating a beautiful year where all of your intentions, all of our dreams come true. With joy, with abundance, with fulfillment, with pleasure, with freedom, with alignment and inspiration, celebration and bliss. And so now I'd like you to just reflect as if you can look upon the timeline of your life, going back over the last 12 months or maybe even beyond, and just reflect on it as if you're looking from a bird's eye point of view. A line through time, going back throughout the months, throughout the weeks, the days, the moments, and become aware of any of the treasures, any of the gifts, any of the gems and the blessings that you want to bring forward with you. And they can simply, naturally, of their own volition, begin to glow and grow brighter and clearer, making themselves apparent to you. Maybe some things you were aware of, maybe some things you'd forgotten. At the same time, any of the things from that timeline that had carried density, that carried an embodied friction, any parts that had were holding points for negativity, strain, strife, and give yourself the permission to end the chapter of those elements of strife and suffering. Realize that you have the right, the authority, and the full permission to relinquish and let go of anything that no longer serves you. Any of those things which may have been attached to you, which maybe you had been attached to, you have the right and the power to let go of those attachments to suffering. It's your birthright to live in alignment, inspiration, and joy. And anything less than that, from the past year, maybe from the past decades, maybe going back generations through family line, through cellular memory and beyond. There are some things that can simply be let go of. And just like any other heavy, dense thing, once you let go of it, it falls away. So as you give yourself the permission now to have done that, to have let go of any of the effort it used to take to try in vain, to hold on to any of those elements of stress and strain. As you free up your hands to welcome in something new. Bringing your attention now to this moment in time and looking forward as well, becoming aware of how any of the areas of that timeline going forward in time, which may have seemed cloudy, which may have seemed vague, which may have seemed scary even. The only thing we really have is this moment right now. This is what we can work with. This is where we can work from. It's often said that worrying is a prayer for failure. As we dwell on thoughts, those thoughts send signals out and the feelings magnetize those realities in. What we're doing today, tonight, is giving you the chance to relinquish any of those areas of strife, knowing that the best way to predict the future is to create it. And so now, for this moment, allow and invite yourself into this window, this 0 point of creation. And gather your awareness first in the center of your chest and drop into your heart. And feel, imagine, visualize, or simply become aware of this cord of silvery white light expanding all the way upwards out the top of your head, up into the universe, and all the way down into the core of the planet, expanding with every breath. And send your awareness down now, down from your heart, following this cord, they call it the Pranic Chord, all the way down through your chest, through your abdomen, through beyond your legs, your feet, through the building wherever you are, all the way down through the crust of the earth, and deep into Mother Earth, all the way to the core. The core of this beautiful planet, which holds us, which gives you that unconditional love in the form of gravity. That's always there, that's always here beneath you, holding you. And as you breathe deeply, drink deeply of the power and the love of this Mother Earth from which we grew. And bring with you some kind of gift, a feeling, an image, a sensation, however you feel it, maybe a word, bringing this with you as you ascend your awareness up through the cord, breathing that silvery white energy with you, all the way back up through the levels of the earth's crust, through the levels of wherever you are, and back into the center of your heart. As you extend now with a big deep breath, extend that cord up into the universe. You can imagine this connecting to a wonderful central sun. You may imagine it connecting to a planet, if you know planets and you know the different things you might want to tune into. And Venus is a beautiful one, the planet associated with love and nurturing. Or simply infinitely upwards. As you feel into the presence of your own power and realize that this, just like whether it's a guitar string, a cello, a piano string, you can send out that song. And I'd like you at this point to tune into that thought, the intention that you've set, the words, the realities, and most importantly, as you imagine those things, Feel into them, bring them into the present moment. And as you bring this feeling to life now, breathe it into your pranic chord. Breathe it into this chord of light as it begins to resonate and attune with this song of your soul. And bring it to life. As this manifests, as this comes to be yours, how does it feel? Where are you? What are you wearing? What are you experiencing? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? How does it feel within your body? How do you stand? How do you sit? How's your posture? How do you breathe as the recipient of this reality, as the creator of this reality? As you breathe into this, bringing all of this vividly to life, turn up the brightness and bring this feeling resonating all the way to the very core of the earth and way up above you to levels beyond our awareness. As you feel into the feeling of whatever your intentions, whatever your word is, whether it's joy, freedom, love, pleasure, gratitude, abundance, and generosity, feel it amplified, turned up, switched on, magnified by the fact that now you are giving yourself full permission to embody and experience this. Relinquishing any friction, any old things, any old low frequency, dense patterns that may once have tried to undermine this. They simply bounce off because they do not belong. As you hold this space for yourself, breathe it and feel the sensations of your reality and your creatorship expanding, emanating from your heart all the way through your entire body and beyond. As you send this signal out, become aware as you expand your awareness out to our beautiful constellation, our collective here. Everyone participating in this. Live or on the recording, we're all in the same space. You may imagine us all standing in a circle holding hands as these brilliant columns of light and love, creative intention, sounding out in perfect harmony, like a divine orchestra. All instruments, very different, very unique, and yet coming together in this coordinated way, making such a beautiful, harmonious, melodious symphony. And so breathe that in and allow it to bathe your entire awareness. The power of your creatorship. Filling up the space that used to have been filled by limitations of the past, now no longer. Having relinquished the things, the limitations, the traumas, the curses, if you will, of the past, relinquishing them, denying, rejecting, and banishing them, as they have no place in your present or your future. And now, with this freedom, you create. And so breathe this in, breathe in the eminence, the beauty, just bathing your awareness in resonant tones of love, joy, freedom, creativity, abundance, generosity, pleasure, all of the things that you love so much and beyond, that you have everything you need and beyond and more. That all of your dreams may come true, your intentions be fulfilled in a way that lets you know the power that you have, that you embody, that you are. And so bring a smile onto your face now. A smile on your face, locking in this feeling, knowing that what you have done today, you have sent out a transmission, calling in that which you desire, that which you intend to create for all of the wonderful reasons that you came here. And so with that smile, bring your awareness with this feeling all the way into your body fully, 100% into your body now. Mind, body, spirit, fully integrated. And bringing with you this download of pure, unconditional love, allowing it to flow throughout the chambers of your mind and body, bringing the pattern of your intention all the way through your skin, your muscles, your bones and your blood, your nerves, your cells, all the way into your DNA, fully embodied and welcoming all of the wonderful ways, known and unknown, that you can be pleasantly surprised. And enjoy this year as a co-creative act, knowing that freedom is everything and love is all the rest. And so bringing this feeling back with you, take a big, deep breath with a smile on your face and bring yourself back into the world of the senses, with a new mind, with a new awareness, with a new perspective. Because where you speak from, you speak to. This is true of humans, this is true also of life and the universe in general. When you can embody the state of creatorship, when you can embody the states that you want to create, that you want to send out, that is more powerful than any script. It's more powerful than any charm. Because you really are the miracle and the source of miracles. And so bring this feeling with you. Take all the time you need to come on back to the world of the senses, feeling good, bring the feelings fully embodied as your birthright. When you open your eyes, the world outside may seem brighter than it did before. You may want to have a stretch, have a drink of water, and ground yourself. And step into your year, your creation, with this attitude and energy of creatorship. And so, Christine, that's me. I'll hand over to you now as people just bring themselves on back.
Thank you. That's very beautiful. There will be a recording if you do want to go back and do that meditation again. We'll have that recording.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. As you are slowly waking up and coming to, if you'd like to pop in the comments anything that popped up for you or that you enjoyed listening to Jonam's juicy voice. There's always comments about your voice. It's awesome. Yeah, if you feel called to share anything, please feel free. You're welcome to do that. As you are going through the rest of your day and you want to write anything's out for this year coming, one thing you can do is with fire. I lit the candle. So fire is the element of Sagittarius in that time for the new moon of Sagittarius. And so what you can do is write out the things that you don't want to bring into 2022. Leave them. Let's close the chapter. You close the chapter on the year and you leave that in the past. You can write out what all of those things are, and in a safe place. You could use a pot, or if you're outside, burn it, right? And allow that part to leave. And it's very interesting that that Sagittarius, they control the body part of the thighs. So it's this moving forward, the pelvic area as well, lower hips or lower back and hips. So what are you moving forward into the new year with, to bring that in? And Capricorn, which is the next energy after Sagittarius, is the ruler of the knees, which is still that moving forward. So what an awesome time to start the year with that, of like, you want to move forward this year, you call it all in, all of the things that you're leaving behind, let them go. Write it out if you want to do that and that resonates, and then burn that baby, and then just keep the things that you're wanting to move forward with. So if anyone would like to share anything around the meditation or something that spoke to them today, please feel free. Thank you so much for joining us for the new moon.